Okay. Okay, Kathy, you're standing up and everybody's ready to be called in. Great. Okay, Dr. Jill, take it away.
Hello, I'm Dr. Jill, and welcome to Who's Got Issues? We're coming to you from Shushan, Persia, where I've got to tell you, they really know how to throw a party. Set up a few slot machines and Vegas can take some lessons. Today, we'll be talking with a group of people whose issues include divorce, alcoholism, sexual slavery, lust, ambition, and attempted genocide. Wow, this should be quite the show. Let's bring out our first guest, Vashti, former Queen of Persia. Come on, give it up for Vashti. Welcome to the show, Vashti.
Thanks for having me, Dr. Jill.
So Vashti, do you have any issues?
I certainly do, Dr. Jill. Last year, my husband, the King of Persia, threw me out of the house and took away my crown because I wouldn't dance naked in front of his buddies.
Did he do that often?
No, this was a first, but it was kind of the last straw.
Yeah.
He gives these huge, noisy, drunken parties that last a week at a time. He invites everybody in town and turns the palace into a frat house. You should see the courtyard when it's all over. Lamb bones and wine bottles everywhere, blech, all over the curtains and mosaics. And as soon as the servants get everything cleaned up, he starts all over again.
That sounds terrible. So what happened this last time?
He got hammered, as always, and sent 7 eunuchs to bring me down to the party so I could display myself to half of Shushan.
Well, why is that an issue to you?
I'm not something to be put on display like one of his stupid wine goblets. Anyway, the issue of objectification aside, only the eunuch said he wanted me to come down wearing my crown. Only my crown.
That does seem a bit extreme.
Duh, and he couldn't come himself to ask me?
Would you have stripped if he had asked you personally?
No, but at least I wouldn't have been surrounded by a bunch of idiot eunuchs giggling and pointing at my chest.
So what happened after that?
Next thing I know, I'm kicked out of the palace and ordered never to darken his door again. That was more than a year ago.
Well, what have you been doing since then?
Well, I sold my story to Lifetime, and that's tided me over until my lawyer could shake out some maintenance, but not enough to pay for the hell he put me through.
I can see you've really been through a rough time, Vashti. Let's hear now from the other party in this marriage gone sour, King Ahasuerus.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, didn't I take a restraining order against you?
All it says is I can't enter your presence. You just entered my presence. So stuff a sock in it.
Bet I do.
So, Your Majesty, do you have issues?
Next page.
You bet I do.
Vashti seems to think you have a drinking problem.
First of all, I do not have a drinking problem. I had a queen problem, but not anymore. Second of all, I just had a couple of drinks at the end of the day to unwind. I reign over 127 provinces from India to Ethiopia. You have any idea how much responsibility that is?
It's a heavy commitment, I'm sure.
That's right. So if I want to relax, maybe throw a party, why shouldn't I?
Oh, please. He has 7 advisors to do his thinking for him and a skillion bureaucrats to run the kingdom. All he does all day is drink wine and work his way through the harem. He doesn't even have to buckle his own sandals.
Now, Vashti, you had your chance, Your Majesty. What about Vashti's claim that you ordered her to appear naked at a party?
Hey, I wanted to show her off. It was a compliment, baby.
Oh, yeah, the eunuchs really acted like you were honoring me.
Had you been drinking?
Oh, I had a few. It was a wine feast, okay? She was having her own party up there with her gal pals.
We were playing bridge and drinking lemonade.
I heard you had a male stripper.
One of the eunuchs fell in the jacuzzi. If those fat morons are strippers, so Santa Claus.
Why didn't you go up and ask Vashti to appear before the men?
Because I'm the king. When you're the king, you get to tell other people stuff for you, to do stuff for you. That's one of the perks.
And you felt her refusal was unreasonable?
Look, if I'd let her get away with it, I'd have lost the respect of every man in Persia. My top advisor said she had to go.
Sure, he doesn't order his eggs scrambled or over easy unless Memicon tells him which way.
Now shut up. I'm the king. It's my way or the highway.
Now. I realize you two have a lot of issues with each other, but don't go all Maury Povich on me. So there's a new queen these days, Your Majesty?
Yeah, baby. Makes the old model look like 30 miles of bad road.
Sticks and stones, honey bunch. Say, do you still wear a girdle when you visit the harem?
Let's meet the new queen and see if she has any issues. Please welcome Queen Esther.
That's
Esther.
Welcome, Queen Esther. Tell us how you came to become queen.
Well, when Queen Vashti left the palace, listen, I'm sorry about what happened. I really admire what you did.
Hey, you're not the one who kicked me to the curb. Thanks for understanding.
Anyway, the king had a sort of contest for who would be the next queen, and my cousin Mordecai, who raised me, said I should enter.
A beauty contest?
Yeah, mostly.
What do you mean mostly?
Well, if the head of the eunuchs thought you were pretty enough, there was also an interview portion of the contest with the king.
And you won?
Yeah, I guess I gave the best interview because lots of the girls were really beautiful.
Why did your cousin let you enter the contest?
Well, it was sort of his idea. You should probably let him tell you why.
Okay, let's talk to Mordecai because he sounds like you've got issues. Mordecai, come on in. Welcome, Mordecai.
Good to be here, Dr. Jill.
What's your line of work?
About 50 years back, my father came out here and opened a little dry goods store. It's become the biggest department store in Shushan. Went into the business as a teenager. Now the place mostly runs itself. So I spent most of my time hanging around the palace gate.
Why the palace gate?
You wouldn't believe the stuff I hear. One day, these 2 eunuchs were plotting to murder the king. I told Esther and she tipped off the king.
That was you? I remember my royal scribe writing that down. Oh, man, I owe you a solid.
So why did you encourage Esther to enter the beauty pageant?
Well, she's a beautiful girl and I knew she'd give a great interview. And why shouldn't the prettiest girl in Persia be the queen?
Oh, come on, Uncle Morty. There's more to it than that, and you know it.
Esther, do you have issues with your treatment at the palace?
It's not that. Everyone's been very nice. It's just been a little boring.
Boring?
Well, come on. I've been here over more than a year, and for the first 6 months, I had nothing to do except get some beauty treatment. with oil of myrrh, and the next 6 months were all perfumes and makeup. I'd like to look good and smell good as much as the next girl does, but that was ridiculous.
But you were living in the palace.
Yes, and it's beautiful there, but there's nothing to read. And until I taught a few of the girls how to play mahjong, there was nothing to do. And after all that oil of myrrh and makeup, my skin is a mess. Whoever said these cosmetics were non-clogging is a total liar.
But surely now that you're queen, you have to do more.
Yeah, every so often there's a supermarket opening or some battalion goes off to put down an insurrection, but it's all smile and wave stuff.
But I picked you out of dozens of girls to be queen.
Yeah, you didn't act like that. Most of these other girls are still hanging around the harem. I don't even see you unless you send for me, and I feel like I can't really be myself in the palace.
Well, those certainly are issues, and I'll bet you have even more. But for now, let's bring out our last guest, the king's right-hand man, Haman.
Hey, what's this guy doing here?
That's the same with him.
He's the queen's cousin. Why? Do you know him?
Yeah, that's the guy who wouldn't bow down to me outside the palace gate.
This guy? Who cares? He saved my life. He dropped a dime on those two eunuchs for plotting to kill me. We need to honor him.
Honor him? But your majesty, he's one of those people.
One of what people?
Those people, you know, who are scattered throughout your kingdom and don't obey the laws of the realm. And you signed an edict to have them destroyed. Don't you remember?
I thought you were talking about divorce lawyers,
No.
or maybe opium addicts. I'm telling you, I'm sorry we ever invaded Afghanistan.
Mordecai, do you have issues with substance abuse?
No, I don't.
Oh, for heaven's sakes, he's talking about the Jews. Uncle Morty's Jewish, and so am I.
We're Jewish?
Yeah, I'm Jewish. And a few weeks ago, you signed up an order to have all my people killed. And my buddy Haman here sent it to every province in the Persian Empire.
I did that.
Well, here's a coffee.
Your Majesty, what are your issues with Jews?
I don't have any issues with Jews. Wow, I must have been wasted to sign that. Maybe I do have a drinking problem.
He's the one who has issues with Jews. He wrote that edict and had you sign it. Just because Uncle Morty wouldn't bow down to him.
You were going to have the whole tribe destroyed because one guy wouldn't bow down to you? Very uncool.
Your Majesty, you ordered the entire populace to bow down to me when you promoted me.
I did? I don't remember that.
Big surprise. You have more blackouts than London during the Blitz.
I'm not happy about this. Somebody get me the number for AA.
And it isn't just this guy. None of the Jews would bow down to me, or to you either.
Is that true?
Your Majesty, we're loyal citizens of Persia. And contrary to what this lying sack says, we obey all your laws and honor you.
What?
And as the leader of our government, but we bow down only in the worship of our God.
Good enough for me. What were you thinking anyway?
Hey, I have issues too. You don't know my wife. Don't take it personally. It wasn't enough for her that you made me your top courtier. One guy won't bow down to me, and she acts like I'm a piece of dog. Well, you know what? She's the one who pushed me to get you to sign that edict. She's the one who made me put up a 50-cubit gallows in the front yard for your pal Mordecai. Queen Esther, Please forgive me.
Get off me.
What are you doing? Get off
Grab
the queen. Guards, call your wife and tell her you won't be home for dinner because you got hung up. Get it? Hung up.
All's well that ends well.
Not so fast, Uncle Morty. I still have some issues.
And what would those be, Queen Esther?
I had a very happy life before I became queen. I worked at the store, hung out with my friends, and the Shoddock was starting to look for a good match for me. Uncle Morty was a wonderful father to me. There was nothing I wanted that I didn't have. So I have to wonder, Uncle Morty, why you felt obliged in the king's chamber instead of having the life that I had.
Yeah, I don't know, Esther dear. Maybe I saw people like Haman coming into power and thought you becoming queen would help us all if you know whatever hit the fan. And it did help, didn't it? I might not have saved the king's life if he hadn't already been in the palace.
Well, next time get your own job in the palace or establish the ADL or something. It's time you fought your own battles, Uncle Morty.
Is it such a terrible thing to be my queen?
Yeah, it's a big honor and I'm very flattered. And maybe really, if you quit drinking, you'd be both a fine king and a fine husband.
If he makes it to 30 days, let me know if he does any better in the sack. I'd like to think some woman is having fun on those silk sheets.
Esther, in the annals of Persia, it will say, I love you more than any other woman. And I'll do my best to make you happy and give you everything you want.
All I want is a nice facial and a good cleanser. Oh, and please hire a kosher butcher for the palace. I've been living on trail mix for more than a year.
You got it, kiddo. And Mordecai, I think I better name you Secretary of Defense because your people are going to have a little situation coming up soon.
And there you have it, another edition of Who's Got Issues. Join us tomorrow when Jacob, Esau, and their parents come on the show to talk about sibling rivalry.
Audience.
Yeah.
No, we've had plenty
Oh,
of
that's right,
audience.
that's right.
We had plenty of audience. Hi, Adele. Did you enjoy?
I did. That was hysterical. You guys did a great job. Great job.
We'll see you soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi.
Who was that?
That was Adele Muller.
Oh,
She is the one and only congregant who
We got on Zoom.
got on